Gilroy of the New York State Police. I am the current Troop Commander of Troop G. I'm joined by the Troop G BCI Commander, Captain Robert McConnell, the Zone 1 Commander, Captain Nicholas Lombardi, Cohoes Police Chief Todd Walden, and City of Troy Police Chief Daniel DeWolf. The New York State Police is currently investigating an officer-involved shooting that occurred at 268 Remsen Street in Cohoes, New York. I want to remind everyone that this is an ongoing investigation and the information is preliminary and subject to change. At this time, I will provide a summary of the incident. On Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, at approximately 9:20 p.m., members of the Cohoes Police Department were on routine patrol when they were waved down by a concerned community member on Remsen Street in Cohoes, New York, for the report of a physical altercation involving 3 individuals outside 268 Remsen Street, where a firearm was displayed and discharged. Additional officers responded and immediately established a perimeter around the residence. At approximately 11:20 p.m., following multiple instructions from law enforcement to exit the residence and the evacuation of the remaining apartments, a female exited the residence unarmed and was taken into custody without incident. The second individual remaining in the home was identified as 30-year-old Eli Sid Jr. As a result of the investigation, Mr. Sid was identified as the person who discharged a handgun during the altercation outside the home. With the assistance of the City of Troy Police Department, negotiations were attempted throughout the night, but were unsuccessful. At approximately 2 a.m. on August 6, 2025, the New York State Police Special Operations Response Team, commonly referred to as SORT, was requested and responded to assist the Cohoes Police Department with the ongoing situation. At approximately 7:42 a.m., after crisis negotiators were unable to establish any communications with Mr. Sid throughout the night, the State Police Special Operations Response Team entered the residence. Upon entering the home, Mr. Sid discharged a firearm multiple times at State Police members, striking the team's protective ballistic shield. A SORT member returned fire and the team exited the home. Subsequent to the exchange of gunfire, negotiators were able to engage Mr. Sid in telephonic communications. At approximately 8:12 a.m., while negotiations were ongoing, a single gunshot was heard from within the home. When negotiators were unable to recontact Mr. Sid, State Police entered the home and located Mr. Sid deceased from what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Notification has been made to the Attorney General's office, who responded to the scene. Mr. Sid's cause of death is pending further investigation and autopsy results. No law enforcement members or other community members were injured during this incident. The Troop G Public Information Officer will provide additional updates as they become available. And before I take any questions, I'm going to turn the podium over to Chief Walden from the Cohoes Police Department.
Thank you, Major Gilroy. I would just like to say that I really appreciate the partnership and the cooperation we had from both the Troy Police Department and the New York State Police. They were essential in us containing the situation and it not getting worse than it potentially could have. They did it this time. They've done it every time we've called on them, and it's essential for us to get our job completed safely and to protect the citizens of Cohoes with partnerships like this with our other law enforcement agencies. I'll turn it back over to Major Gilroy.
So at this time, I'll be willing to take some questions.
What was the relationship between the seemingly 3 people fighting?
We at this point, preliminarily, we know that they were known to each other, but it's an ongoing investigation, so we're still trying to make those determinations.
What was the arrest from the woman who exited the residence?
She was taken into the custody at that time just to identify whether or not she was actively involved in the criminal investigation, but that woman has not been arrested at this time. She's been released.
And the makeup of those 3, 2 males, 1 female, or can you say what the makeup of the 2
For the initial, preliminarily, it was 2 males and 1 female.
Has there been any history at that address or people involved?
I would have to refer that to Chief Walden.
Yes, our first documented interactions with Mr. Sid started in January of this year. I don't believe he's been a Cohoes resident for longer than that. And we did have numerous calls to that residence for different reasons. Domestic incident, check the welfare of a subject, and noise, loud party disturbance calls.
So he's new to the area, you would say?
New to our area in Cohoes. I'm not familiar with where he lived before he moved to Cohoes, and it appears to be in January.
Can you speak to then again his access to a firearm? What kind of, I mean, say what kind of firearm it was, or then there's been contact with this individual. So you had a firearm, can you say anything about that, or?
No, we had no contact previously with him having any weapons, and
But not-
any details about the weapons involved in this, I'd have to turn that over to the state police for comment.
I guess, I mean, meaning in the responses to the residents during, at no point was there, hey, this individual has a gun.
Not until today's incident.
Okay, I just want to.
Was the only one where someone mentioned that he has this gun and it was displayed, and we had some proof that led us to believe that for sure there was a weapon involved.
If I was correct, just get the timeline down, negotiations were actually a relatively short period of time. He locked himself in there. This was like a 30-minute window-ish, 40, no?
Not entirely true. The length of the incident, it started at 9:20 p.m.
Yeah.
and then went until about 11 hours later. Before the Troy Police Department arrived and the state police arrived, the Cohoes Police Department was trying to establish communication with him and talk to him and get some information from some of the other people there.
Okay. Did he make suicidal threats?
We did not have any communications
Okay.
like that.
When you did interrupt them, did you have any demands, or what was he talking about?
I'm not going to get into the substance of that conversation. Obviously, this is an ongoing investigation. Other than to say that subsequent to the exchange of gunfire between Mr. Sid and state police members, it was only after that point that crisis negotiators were able to make contact with Mr. Sid and had some sort of dialogue prior to his taking his life.
How many rounds were returned? I know that 2 were originally hit with the shield. How many were returned?
Yeah, so this is an ongoing investigation. Our forensic investigators are currently scouring the scene as we speak, so it would be too early to identify how many rounds were fired, but that will come out at a later date.
Do we know if any number of rounds hit this individual from the police?
That will be determined subsequent to autopsy, which is obviously forthcoming.
Can you say if it's a handgun or an assault rifle?
It's a 40 caliber ghost gun.
Or ghost gun?
Yes,
So, meaning it's untraced or
correct. Untraceable. Yes,
40 caliber?
40 caliber. Yes,
Is there
sir.
a photo of this weapon?
That will be posted by our PIO subsequent to this conference.
That's just one final question, I guess, for me. We were all talking to folks out there today. Some of them saying gun violence, whether it's ghost guns or otherwise, is an issue. Of course, it's an issue in many different places. But just speaking specifically to that area, maybe to Cohoes, I don't know if you or anyone else would like to just speak to, outside of this incident, is gun violence an issue? How bad is it in Cohoes?
All violence is concern, obviously, especially gun violence. I can't speak specifically to the city of Cohoes, but obviously combating gun violence is a priority for all law enforcement agencies.
One more question, Dave. What day is the autopsy?
That I don't know. That's to be determined.
Okay.
Thank you guys for coming.